Yes, and welcome to Vasili's Garden, folks. We're at the tail end of summer and I thought I'd come down and visit my good friend Craig Castry down in Werribee. How are you, mate?
I'm very well, mate. How are you?
Very well, and I've come to have a look at your beautiful edible garden here because it's the height of the season. You'll be harvesting now.
I certainly am, mate, yeah.
And I'm looking forward to getting some of that produce off that tree, especially.
Well, it's not quite ready, but I have got some around the back that might be okay.
Oh, don't worry, I'm sure I'll find plenty to eat out here.
For sure.
Well, this is your front garden. Now, we've been here before, we've seen it in the progressive stage of development.
Yep.
We're at the height of the season. We've got olive trees here and the apple tree.
Yep.
Tell us about this one first.
Well, that's a gala apple, and I actually have an apple tree in the nature strip that the rosellas are absolutely decimating.
They're loving it.
Oh, they are, but they're only small, very tiny Jonathan apples that are not quite ripe. So you can imagine if I didn't have a net on this,
Yeah, I know.
I'd have not an apple left. So
And let's point out also the netting that you've done here, it's quite taut. It's not loosely hung over the top. It's not just
that's
draped.
it. So that's a stretch net.
Yep.
The drape nets don't stretch.
Yes.
And they trap birds and other things.
Yes.
So you've got to be a little careful. So they do need to be stretched. So I've used, as you can see, some star pickets and some conduit.
Yep.
And I've tensioned that down with some cable ties around the stakes and some tent pegs in the ground.
Yeah, because we want to prevent the birds from getting in, but also prevent from them getting caught up in the netting
The other
itself.
thing too is that if they land on that net, they can't beat the apples through it. If it's just draped over the
they can push
tree,
in.
they can get in.
Yeah, exactly. So a very important message there.
The other thing is that make sure that your trees aren't too tall.
Yep.
As high as you can reach standing flat-footed is as high as your trees should be.
Yeah.
Even notice the olives. I mean, they're 7 years old.
Oh, you're kidding, aren't they?
Yeah.
So you've brought them right down to this level.
Yeah.
So
and look at how laden they are.
Yeah, they're full of it too.
Yeah.
So that's fantastic. Now, front garden, normally you'd see a few little shrubs and flowering plants. You've got a bit of everything going on here. Olives, apples, rosemary.
Yep. Lavender, Jerusalem artichoke, goji berry, lemon verbena, tomatoes, cucumbers, capsicums.
I just spotted that too there. There
pumpkin,
you go. Pumpkin.
Chives.
And, and let's just colour it up a little bit with a few petunias and African daisies.
But it's about companion planting as much as it is, a bit of a show. I mean, we all like to look at a nice garden, and I'm very much the same, but I try and plant things that attract in predators and pollinators.
So you don't have to do a lot of work in protecting the plants.
Well, I don't want to use any chemicals for sure.
Yeah.
So I would rather attract in predators that clean up the pests.
All right, so now in summer, it's scorching weather. A lot of people are struggling to keep the water up to their plants. Some tips and advice?
Mulch.
Last time I came here was about 2 or 3 months ago, and we were just planting this out. Have a look at the cherries.
And the funny thing is, being in a wicking bed, I actually don't water this.
Oh, you haven't watered it?
I don't water it.
No.
You've got a water reservoir in the bottom of this, so all I do is fill up the water reservoir, but I physically do not water this box.
At the beginning, I know you said you have to water a little bit just to establish them.
For the first week.
First week. After that, so a wicking bed. For anybody who wants to create a garden in their backyard and they haven't got any soil space, a raised bed like this, but in particular a wicking bed, and that's what this is.
Yep.
Water it at the bottom, fill up the reservoir, and how often would you fill it, do you think?
Actually, since the tomato's been putting on a lot of fruit, I reckon probably once every 3 weeks.
God. Here we are watering once a day almost when it gets to 40, 42 degrees as it is now. And you get away with it. So I can have a go at this tomato and you're going to tell me it's full of flavour, right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And we know the cherries are great, but... okay.
They're like Smarties, mate.
Mate, you can go and do the show on your own. I'm just going to sit here and eat the rest of these.
Yeah, they're good stuff, aren't they? Look, we've picked bowls full of those.
Yeah.
And of course, the other thing too is that I've companion planted it. I've got some marigolds in there to help with nematodes. I've got some basil to help ward off other pests. Yep. And I've had some garlic or some spring onions, anything from the allium family. So they're a great group.
Good combination.
What goes well in the ground together goes well on the plate together.
Yeah, and you've got the eggplant there as well, the white eggplant.
Yeah.
That is fantastic. And that's only not even a square metre, is it really?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, and you've got 3, 4, 5 varieties there, and you can easily feed a couple, living together. If you've got a larger family, you'd have a larger garden.
And we've got some galangal at the drip pipe.
Oh, so
when it overflows, it goes into the coagula.
If you like Vasili's Garden, then you'll love the summer edition of Vasili's Garden to Kitchen magazine. Available at all good news agencies. Subscribe now at vasilisgarden.com. Autumn edition coming soon.
Hello folks and welcome. Well, how many of you have had an irritating cough and it is so persistent that you just don't seem to be able to get on top of it? Well, there are several reasons why that is, but number one, it may be that the constant coughing that you're doing, one, you're over the virus, but the lingering of that consistent cough is because the areas are irritated. So what you need to do is to be able to settle down that irritation. Well, the combination of radish and apple, these are fantastic when they're combined together and put into a juice. 1 apple, 3 radishes, there's the ratio, 1 apple to 3 radishes. Put it through a juicer and add anything else. Maybe you might like a carrot, you might like anything else that goes with it, but the combination of the 1 apple to the 3 radishes is a mainstay to be able to soothe and settle the irritability that is associated with persistent coughing. And more particularly when we think about it, radish is a beautiful warming tonic and apple is an antiviral. So when we put these together, the combination is fantastic, but by leaving the skin on the apple, there's a beautiful soothing approach to the soothing and settling of the area because of the pectin, which is like a sticky substance, but again, it soothes and settles. So folks, don't overlook the very simple process of radish and apple, 1 apple, 3 radishes, 1 to 3 ratio, in a juice and have it on a regular basis until you can get over the irritability of those coughs. It'll certainly help to soothe and settle, work as an antiviral, be highly nutritious and extremely soothing at the same time. How powerful is that? Here is food as medicine again at its best. So until next time, find happiness in every moment.
This citrus tree, you just mentioned to me before, it was a lime?
No,
a lemon.
It's a Eureka lemon.
Yep.
And I've grafted a yuzu lemon, a tangelo, and a Tahitian lime on it.
So you've got another 3 varieties on this?
Correct. See, real estate is a very valuable commodity.
Yeah.
And we don't use it very wisely, I don't think.
No.
And anyone that's ever had a lemon tree gets too many lemons.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
we still pay $2 a lemon at the shop.
that's it. Yeah. So
work that one out.
Why not use some of the tree's real estate to have some other varieties that you probably wouldn't use a lot of?
But you can get a few enough to keep you going.
Otherwise, I'm going to have to put in another 3 trees, which I just don't have room for.
Yeah, and this is what you've done generally across the board with your backyard. You've got multiple grafts on each tree that you've got growing in the backyard. So to start off now, at the moment, we're looking at a citrus tree.
Yep.
4 varieties. 4 varieties on it, and they're all just becoming productive. One of them's a pretty fresh new growth on it.
Yep.
But all the others, I could see the different varieties growing on there already.
Yep.
How old's the tree?
The tree's about 7 years old, it is. 7 years old. And of course, we've got an orange behind.
Yep, the big one over there.
Yeah.
That's
actually, on site, we've got 5 apple trees, and we've got 26 varieties of apple. I've got a wonderful little peach that you might want to have a go at. This is called J.H. Hale, and they call that the $1 million peach.
The $1 million peach.
So it's quite a small peach this year, but it's not hard to see why they call the $1 million peach.
You know, you got used to have smell-o-vision. You need a taste-o-vision here, folks, because you don't know what you're missing out on until you grow one of these and taste it yourself. Yeah. And you're not going to find these in the shops, are you?
No. They're rare and heritage varieties. Things that have been pushed off the shelf. Here amongst all of this garden here, and it looks pretty cluttered, but I'm a firm believer if you can see soil space, you're going to grow weeds. And I would rather pull out food than weeds. Tomatoes, beetroot,
capsicums, beans.
Got a scarlet runner. Yep. We've got some dwarf beans in amongst here. Yep. Bit more beetroot.
More spring onions.
Spring onions. They self-seed.
Rhubarb.
Yep. Rhubarb and apple on the plate together go well. In the ground together, they go well. Garlic or chives or something from the allium family around apples will help keep codling moth down.
I was going to ask you, do you have any problems with that? Because I've seen a lot of trees at the moment, unfortunately, hit with codling moth. No. And if you don't know what that is, it's basically a grub that enters the side of the apple. You've got to cut it open, half of it's rotted out or eaten away.
Yep.
So you don't have to spray because you're planting
companions to keep it away.
And what was it again you're planting?
Well, anything from the allium family,
Yep.
preferably garlic.
Yep.
Or garlic chives is good.
Yep.
They don't seem to
Yep.
like the garlic much, but whatever the chemical is that allium families put in the ground, they hate.
Yep. They hate it and it keeps them away.
And you've got to have the month of October covered with those alliums because that's when they emerge.
Yeah, and that's when they come up.
hatch. They climb up the tree into the fruitlets. You hardly see the way they go in.
Yep.
But you sure
find out later on.
Yeah, you certainly see the where they come out.
And how many varieties you said you got on this tree?
That's got 12. That's got 12 varieties on it.
The best way to look after your plants is with Vasili's Easy Hand Spray. Order your sprayer now, available only at vasilisgarden.com.
As you know, every week I've enjoyed creating healthy juices and delicious smoothies, but for today I'm going to change it up. Now, did you know that my Kuvings SV500 not only makes smoothies that are to die for, but I've also made dips with this unit that I've served to family and friends that has left them begging for more. So today I'm going to share with you one of my favourites. I'm making my spicy capsicum and feta spread, and the ingredients include 2 red capsicums baked in the oven at a high temperature for up to 15 minutes or until soft. Then remove the skin and the seeds. There are many natural ways that you can source vitamin C. Capsicums are one of the wonderful food sources available that provide a good amount of this crucial vitamin. Vitamin C is an important antioxidant with many cellular functions and promotes critical roles in the human body. For adults, the general recommended daily intake of vitamin C is 45 milligrams per day. It is vital to supply your body with vitamin C rich foods on a daily basis. Next, I have half a teaspoon of camu camu powder. Camu camu is sourced from South America, where the berry is harvested by the indigenous people using traditional methods. It is one of the richest sources of natural vitamin C in the world and grows abundantly along the Amazon River for centuries. Camu camu powder is 100% natural. There is no artificial vitamin C added. It has a pungent flavour but can be added to a variety of dishes and beverages. For details on where you can purchase camu camu powder and a variety of other wonderful goods, you'll find the info on our website at vasilisgarden.com. And the rest of the ingredients include 1 cup of activated walnuts, half a teaspoon of seaweed salt, 250 grams of feta cheese, half a teaspoon of ground cumin, 1 tablespoon of chopped garlic, 1 hot chilli, a 1/4 cup of olive oil, and 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. Blend all the ingredients until your desired consistency, either slightly chunky or smooth and creamy. The Kuvings SV500 vacuum blender is not only great to make smoothies with, but you can also use it to make dips, spreads, and sauces. With its 3.5 horsepower motor, you can't go wrong. Wow, this tastes fantastic. If you'd like to see this recipe again, you'll find it on our website, vasilisgarden.com. Enjoy and see you next time.
All right, so what do we got here in the backyard?
We've got a 6-way apple.
Ooh.
So it's got
12 and 6, 18.
Yep. Yep.
You like your apples, don't you?
Well, I do, yeah. But I don't want to get, most apple trees, if you don't have multiple varieties, when they are ready to pick, you've got 300 or 400 apples all at once.
And that's the problem,
What do you
isn't
do
it? What are
with
you going to do? Start juicing them or something?
That's it. So not only do I get different varieties, but I get them at different times.
Yeah.
So on that first apple we showed you, that's early, mid and late. So I start picking on that tree in around about, I've already picked Cox's orange pippin way back in late December, early January.
Yeah, they were the earliest. Yeah.
So, and I'll be still picking in June, July.
What would be the latest apple, the oldest?
Granny Smith on that
Granny
one.
Smith, yeah.
So, but everything in between, so...
Yeah. But speaking about Granny Smith also, can we just explain to people what colour is actually Granny Smith?
Well, Granny Smith are not green, they're yellow.
No, they're not, they're green. No, but they're
Well,
green.
you might see that in supermarkets, but unfortunately they're picked and they're not ripe. When you pick an apple, when you half twist, it comes off in your hand, that's a ripe apple. When you do that to a Granny Smith, it is slightly yellow.
Yeah.
And it's a very different tasting apple than what you're used to.
I'd love to hear from you out there if any of you have ever eaten a Granny Smith when it's gone completely ripe, when it's yellow.
It's a sweet apple.
No, it's meant to be sort of
tart, but so is any unripe apple that you get, you'll find.
Yeah, that's how we've all grown up to learn when you're getting them from the stores.
Yeah, that's it.
Whereas if you let them ripen on your tree, and it'll be late autumn.
Yes.
Yeah, almost winter.
Almost winter. So what happens is that the tree puts all its energy into the fruit.
Okay.
And after you've picked the fruit, it's got all this energy to use. So all of a sudden it goes into a growth mode.
Yeah.
And if you wait about 3 weeks,
it settles down?
It generally settles and it's stopped all that growth.
Okay.
And then it's time to prune. If you prune earlier, all you're going to do is send it more into growth.
Yep. Okay, so wait at least 3 weeks, cut it back. So would that be a hard cut? How much would you cut back on the tree?
Look, I'll cut that quite back close to the framework. But you should never ever prune any more than about 1/3 off any tree.
Do we require to do another prune later on?
Sometimes. It just depends on the seasons. I mean, the seasons run a bit fickle sometimes.
Yeah, they do. It depends on the tree itself too, because every tree is different to its growth habits and everything.
But don't be frightened to prune, and certainly don't prune trees that are higher than you can stand reaching, in winter, because you'll just send them into growth, and you'll be back there next year pruning the same amount.
Explain that clearly. So that's why you do a summer prune, then 3 or 4 months later in winter, do another prune and thin it out, clean it up, and then by springtime you should get nothing but good fruit. Buffalo mozzarella, eh?
Exactly.
10 minutes?
In under 10 minutes.
Oh,
it takes me longer to heat the milk. So let me explain. It's 1 litre of milk in the microwave for 7 minutes. We'll need it to get to 63 degrees.
All right.
And I'm going to tip that into a stainless steel bowl, a very dry stainless steel bowl, with a little bit of citric acid in it, 3/4 teaspoon.
Yep.
And that will then set the curd. Stir for about 20 seconds. And then it will take me less than a minute to start and make the cheese. And then we'll straight away plunge it straight into some cool water to stop it from cooking any further.
All right.
We'll take it out and we'll slice it and
eat it.
All
right, let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Right?
Just do it.
So, Vasili, if you could pass me that thermometer.
Yeah.
I'll have a quick check to see how we're going for temp. That's okay.
That's ready. Okay.
Yep. Spot on.
So 63 degrees?
Yep.
Beautiful.
No worries.
So what do we do next?
Okay, next trick is into the citric acid.
Pour it in there?
Pour it in there slowly and then quickly stir for about 20 seconds.
And that's it?
And you'll see what happens.
All right, the magic begins.
Right before your eyes.
Okay.
Watching?
I'm watching. Oh, wow.
Can you believe that?
What on earth is going on?
Well, the alchemy behind this, mate, it's turning it into curd. So you can see the watery stuff is whey.
Yeah.
So making cheese is separating curd from whey.
Yep.
So this is making the curd, the citric acid. And
just keep doing that until...
We'll strain this in a tick. So you can pass that, please.
Yep.
And hold the strainer over the top.
You're kidding me.
So now I'll have that over here. So as you can see.
Oh, look at this. You're rolling it around. Buffalo, one big ball.
You believe that?
I wouldn't have believed it if I didn't see it, right?
Okay, so...
Get out. You can actually grab it. It's still hot. It's still hot. Oh, do you have to cool it down now?
As you can see, I'm going to stretch it a little bit now.
Yeah.
So you could just hold that up out
of the way.
Yeah. I'm going to knead this.
Yeah. Like little dough balls.
So you'll see the
moisture coming out. You're taking it away and coming out. You're squeezing it out.
Man, that's hot.
Yeah. That's it. Just a bit of kneading. It reminds me of making the spanakopita, the dough for the spanakopita.
Yep.
Not too moist.
Not too moist. It doesn't want to be running too much whey when I put it into cold water, which I'll do right now. That's it. So that's it. That's all you need to do. Now we'll take that out in a tick and we'll put them on some biscuits.
And eat them.
Some homegrown tomatoes and some homegrown basil.
Wow.
Homemade mozzarella.
Unbelievable.
A little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper and a little drizzle of olive oil, and mate, we'll take
Bob's
you back
your
to
uncle.
Italy.
Oh yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
Pasquale, we're coming. Food that's fit for a king, folks. From the garden. Now
Try
we've got,
one of those.
Oh, I'm going to fresh tomatoes. Which one? Oh, one of each.
Any one you like.
So we've got fresh tomatoes from the garden.
Homegrown basil and homemade mozzarella.
That you just seen made here. 7 minutes was the longest part of it, which is heating up the milk.
That's it.
Here we go. Unbelievable, mate.
Isn't it?
I'll never be able to buy mozzarella again.
Yeah, well, you won't be the only one, mate. Everyone that comes to one of my workshops that learns how to do that.
And you do
does
the
same
workshops?
thing. Yep, we do.
How often do you do them?
We probably run a cheese making workshop once a week.
Okay.
So if people want to have a look and see about whether they get on to craigcastro.com.au.
Your website for more information?
Yep, that's it.
And if you can't remember that, go to vasilisgarden.com and we'll pass you on all the details.
No dramas.
From the garden to the kitchen, from me, Vasili, and Craig Castry, Maresi. I'm going to eat it. Did you want some?
Yeah.
No, bugger off.